did today is we requested to come to Troy High School to tour the facility. Initially we were denied access because the presumption was that we were going to show up to do an inspection. So district legal told us that that is not something that we were able to do based on the way I phrased the question, which is not how I phrased the question. But at any rate, what we were able to do today was tour the entire facility. We were accompanied by Assistant Principal Sanjay Berg and Mr. Jesse Knowles, a teacher at Troy High School. And what we were able to determine here today was that Mr. Knowles is in receipt of Diane Hickey's correspondence, and he refused to acknowledge her correspondence in writing because he advised us that he was told that he didn't have to. Basically, he was relieved of his responsibility by a party or an individual that he would not disclose. So what we have is a teacher refusing to acknowledge receipt of information as it relates to a direct threat to the safety, welfare, and well-being of the students, as well as the staff. So it's very clear to me that he does not want to be exposing himself to liability by proving that he's been exposed to this information. But what we can say is that by the establishment of Diane and I and Mr. Berg as witnesses, that he has received the correspondence and has refused to respond in writing that he has received it, but he is in receipt of it. He also commented that he wished that he would be not involved in this. I don't understand such a duplicitous statement when, in fact, he is the teacher on special assignment to technology, as well as a teacher on special assignment to train teachers as it relates to the deployment and implementation of the Google Apps for Education. So what I'd like to see come out of this is full disclosure and manning up to the issues. What has been determined today is that the construction of this facility is extremely dangerous when it comes to deployment of wireless access points, because what is going to happen is as they're deployed, and apparently they're going to go to pretty high-powered stuff to where they can handle multiple devices. Not only is that dangerous in and of itself, because microwave radiation, pulse-modulated microwave radiation is weapons grade, but these classrooms have metal walls, and they're made out of sheet metal. And as a matter of fact, the readings that we took actually have lower readings inside the classrooms right now because they actually block the ambient background levels from the cellular infrastructure. So what's going to happen is when you bring these access points into these classrooms, and then you deploy the Chromebooks and these wireless devices inside a room with 4 walls that are made out of metal, you are going to have a terrible situation on your hands. And so, as it stands right now, the understanding from district staff is that the access points are to be deployed over the summer in direct opposition and in spite of all of the scientific peer-reviewed information that this district has been provided with at the district board meetings, through emails and correspondence that have been received and acknowledged received by the PTA, the PTSA, the Troy Support Organization, the school board, and the administrative staff. And they're proceeding in a way that is unbelievably reckless, because any basic understanding of science will tell you that you don't put radio signals in a room with metal walls, especially ones that have been proven to be dangerous. This is a learning environment where children are required to attend via California's compulsory education law. They do not have a choice. They do not have the ability to say no to be here. So what we have on our hands is forced microwave exposure, and in a way that I believe is extremely negligent. Our plans are to stop this. Anyone in their right mind that has the best interests of children at heart would never go along with such a thing. I believe Mr. Knowles' behavior is very cowardly. What was evidently clear to me today is that he does not want to be associated with any of this, and yet, ironically, through a California Public Records Act request that I had submitted to the district, I was advised and made privy to the fact that 2 years ago, in August, he actually had a function at his home where he invited district staff, personnel, some teachers, and assistant principals to talk about how safe this is. So for him to say that he does not want to have any direct involvement in dealing with a parental concern is absolutely ridiculous, considering the parental concern that is being presented was being presented by the parent who was directly in his presence, and he refused to acknowledge in writing her correspondence. Ironically, he just recovered from brain tumor surgery. I can only speculate as to what caused that, although I can say that he is a great fan of wireless technology, so it's very probable that his love affair with the microwave emissions and the devices that emit them were probably directly responsible for what happened to him. I don't know for sure, and correlation doesn't necessarily equal causation, but I can say that it's rather odd that it happened on the same side of his head he kept his Bluetooth, from what I've been told. So we have a situation where for 3 years the district has proceeded with caution. They have taken their time, they have carefully thought everything out, and they have publicly on record admitted that they are to proceed with this in a way that attracts no attention to this. So what their intentions are at this point is to deploy everything slowly and not make an issue of any of this. Our position is to make as big of an issue of this as possible and to make it widely known to everyone involved that what is going on here is an extremely serious situation. Microwave emissions are a carcinogen, a Class 2B carcinogen, which is a very liberal interpretation and, quite frankly, soft-pedaling the actual threat that this presents to our students. Dr. Leonard Hardell is an oncologist. He is somebody that would know a lot better than a teacher, and his peer-reviewed science has indicated that microwave emissions cause brain tumors. Microwave emissions do not belong in a classroom. His opinion, and many other scientists are of the opinion, that the classification for wireless microwave radiation should be a Class 1B or a Class 1A or even a Class 1. In addition, the Fullerton Joint Union High School District has been presented with a formal legal demand to not deploy and to turn off all their wireless systems based on the requirements set forth in our interpretation of the California Education Code, which at the high school level requires labeling, warning labeling for wireless devices and wireless technology. Their position is it does not apply. Our position is that they are in violation of the state education code. And at this point, we have correspondence from district legal that has gone on record and stated that they're of the opinion that we are wrong. Well, we are of the clear opinion that they are reckless and that they're endangering the students' health and their well-being by their refusal to proceed in a way that makes sense. When it comes to students' health and safety, it is amazing to me how they can just completely ignore what is staring them in the face. If anyone reported a automobile exhaust pollution issue entering classroom air conditioning systems, or lead on the paint on the desks, which by the way are Class 2B carcinogens, you would either have a hazmat team here or you would have action being taken to stop these things. What has happened here is these emissions are being deployed. The devices that emit them are being deployed, and what we have happening is all of the scientific information, all the research, all of the studies that the district, the board, and the administrative staff and the principals have been presented with over the course of the last 3 years have been ignored. So now we're under the gun. We're at the last minute here. This is the final hour. we're on the verge of the school district implementing a wireless technology program that appears to be in direct violation of the California Education Code and is completely insane in terms of putting it in a classroom environment with metal walls all over the campus. As far as Mr. Knowles goes, I wish him a good recovery from his injury, but based on his behavior here today, I don't think he's learned his lesson. And for him to have the audacity to tell a parent that he refuses to address her concerns over her son's well-being and the student's well-being in writing, when he is the one that's actually pushing for this to be deployed, as evidenced by his EMFU presentation at his home, is unconscionable. That's all for now, and we'll keep you updated. This is Joe Imbriano, the site administrator of WiFiDangers.com and the Fullerton.com. Thank you.